guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dania, and if you're new here, I want to go ahead and remind you to subscribe. Also hit the little bell so that you get notified every single time I upload some more spicy content. Okay, so for today's video, I wanted to do something that I've mentioned in the past that I was going to do and I just hadn't gotten to it, and share with you guys some of the tips. I want to say maybe there'll be around 10 tips. I just like nice round numbers like that, so I'm gonna make it 10. Even if I don't have 10, the rest will come to me as this video goes along. The point being 10 tips that I learned or that I wish that I knew prior to us buying our house. There is a ton of information out there, but there's not an easy way for you to get educated on the process of buying a house. Like reading online, but knowing what specifically applies to you or what might be helpful to you in your situation is kind of hard to figure out. I do want to encourage, if it's your goal. If it's not your goal, then by all means, you don't need to own a house or have a house to feel successful and like you're doing okay in life, okay? Everybody will have their own goals and their own path. But if it's a goal that you have set for yourself and your family to own a home, the market right now is kind of crazy, and it's only getting worse for buyers. A lot of people are hoping and waiting for the market to crash. I just don't see that happening in the very near future. One tip, not related to the 10 tips I'm about to hit you with, is don't wait hoping for that. I do live in the Willamette Valley in Oregon, okay? And things I feel like are only getting worse, and there's less and less options out there for everybody. And I almost feel like the way the market and our economy is going, it's really pushing out our people and our peers from being able to afford houses in the areas that we grew up in. That being said, if you are in a position where you're ready to get the process going or you're looking to buy a house, I want to say start looking and start getting your shit figured out so that you can do that soon, because like I said, I feel like it's only gonna get harder and harder as we wait for this crash, and who knows if it's gonna happen or not. So that's just my personal 2 cents, okay? Let's get started. The first tip that I have, definitely take some time to research and see what options are out there when it comes to different loan types. The reason that I'm saying that is because based on your situation or based on the area in which you want to live or buy a home in, there are gonna be a bunch of different loan types, a lot of different programs that you might qualify for. It's good to go into the process having learned some stuff on your own and doing some of the research, as opposed to just relying on whether it's your realtor, the seller, your family and friends just educating you on the matter or sharing their experiences with you, okay? Number 1 tip, research. Try to figure out what it is that you want, what it is that might be out there for you. The way that I'm telling you these tips isn't necessarily like the way, because I like had this process down and I went in this order with our process when it was our turn. Now that I'm at the finish line and looking back, this is the exact way in which I would have done everything. Number 2, I would definitely start looking for a lender. Who are you going to borrow from? Is that going to be your own credit union, a bank? You know, are you going to go through someone online? And the reason for that is because you can start to get your hopes up on what you think you can afford just by you crunching numbers and doing one of those little generators and calculators online. But there's a lot of variables that go into what you qualify for. So I would definitely say talk to a lender first. See what you might be able to qualify for before you get your hopes up on a house that you aren't actually gonna be able to get because it's out of your budget or because it doesn't qualify for a program that you're gonna be borrowing through and that sort of thing. Tip number 3, I would say, if possible, from the very beginning, after speaking to lenders, go ahead and get a pre-approval letter. If you end up finding a house that you want and you're like, you know what, we wanna put in an offer, like the market, houses are selling so fast. It's better to have a pre-approval letter on hand so that you can actually go ahead and start putting in offers. Otherwise, you're kind of, like I said, getting your hopes up for nothing. Tied to tip number 3, in order for you to get a pre-approval letter, they are gonna have to run your credit. Running your credit could affect your credit. When you're buying a house, you get 15 days. So from that first credit hit, you have 15 days to go and shop around for different offers with different lending companies or banks, and it's not going to affect your credit. You get those 15 days, so definitely take advantage of that. Not want to put all your eggs in one basket, even though everyone more or less operates very similarly, or they consider very similar criteria. You will get different interest rates, different things, different programs with different lenders. So take advantage of that 15-day period. Tip number 4. So now that you actually know exactly what you qualify for and what you were pre-approved for, and you know most likely what type of loan you're gonna be getting depending on the program, because for example for us, because of the loan that we got, we had to put set percentage down, which meant that we needed, in order to get the house, to have that money up front. Tip number 4, before you get too far in the process, you need to make sure that you are going to have that money. There are some programs out there, I think, that might allow you to buy a house without a down payment. I'm not too much of an expert on all these different programs and stuff, right? For us, once we knew kind of the cost of the home that we were looking for, we said, okay, so since we have to put this percentage down and the house is going to be this much, what is the max amount that we might have to have on hand when it comes to close and actually have our down payment? Because obviously without that money, you're not going to be able to get the house. Tip number 5, I think there's this misconception that in order to buy a house, you just need the down payment and that's kind of it. Because it's such a seller's market right now, I don't think there's a ton of wiggle room for negotiation, or, you know, you could negotiate for the seller to pay for your closing costs. So what I'm trying to get at is talk to your lender. Once you kind of already shopped around and you kind of have a lender that you're gonna go with, run the numbers with them and ask them, okay, so I need this much for the down payment, but can you calculate the possibility, the range, the lowest and max? I mean, I would definitely focus on the max that you could possibly need for closing costs. And again, a lot of these things depend on what process, what program you go through. You know, there's gonna be closing costs. You need to have money for like property tax set aside, just different things like that. So definitely consider your closing costs. You start to see what your total investment needs to be that you have on hand in order to actually purchase the home. Okay, so you've done all of those things to kind of prepare, just kind of have all the information, have a lot of knowledge as to what it is that you're looking for. You do want to be prepared. I mean, this is essentially could be the biggest investment of your life. I always talk about it. You want to be your biggest advocate. You don't want to rely on other people who at the end of the day don't owe you an absolute thing to do what's best for you. That is your job to do what's best for you. So definitely be your biggest advocate. So for tip number 6, in the state of Oregon, a realtor could represent both the buyer and the seller. You guys know we bought a new construction home. Initially, we got in contact with the realtor, which was actually representing the seller. At that point, you know, we still kind of were blind to the whole process. She was telling us like, you know, I could help you guys too. It wasn't until I talked to a family friend that told me like, you want your own realtor. You want someone that's completely on your own side. Because at this point, yeah, she has to do right by both of us, you know, but she was initially contracted by the seller. And so therefore, I don't think that they would have been looking out for us as much as they were for the seller. Get your own realtor. You don't want to do that 2-for-1 deal. You want someone that's completely on your side, completely gonna be on your team. Tip number 7, buying process could take a while. Definitely encourage you guys to be very, very smart about your spending and what you do during this time, because you don't want to do anything that affects your credit. I'm gonna be linking a video up here. All right, if you guys want to go check it out, it's a little story time. Our credit went down so much that we thought we were gonna be like shit out of luck and not be able to get the house. My biggest tip, so tip number 7, is if possible, set up all of your monthly bills that you can on an auto pay so you don't miss a single payment. Try to limit or pay off your credit cards. I just think that for us, it made a huge difference because we were lucky enough and disciplined enough, I don't know how, to be able to pay off credit card debt that we had and just set up all of our things, except for one, on auto pay. And so that helped us so much just with our finances and making sure that we stayed on track. Tip number 7, take care of your credit, pay any past dues, make sure you don't have any collections, make sure that you aren't opening or closing new credit accounts. And if you're going to, or you have to for a reason or another, definitely talk to your lender and your agent and see if it could impact you negatively before you do so. So tip number 8, so talk to your agent. For us, we bought new construction. So there was an incentive with the builder that if you went with their preferred lender, they would give you a credit for the closing costs. And that was huge. I mean, it was a few $1,000s. It wasn't like drastic. I mean, because obviously when you're talking purchasing a house, like everything adds up. But just even that little help made a big difference. Definitely talk to your agent and figure out if there's any type of incentive. If it's not a new construction home and they don't have like an incentive for going with their preferred lender, would they be willing to maybe negotiate with you a little bit? Are they willing to maybe help with the closing costs and cover some of that and take that away from you? Tip number 9, don't get super caught up in trying to find like the perfect home, because I don't think that it's possible unless you have unlimited funds and are able to find a lot where you buy the land and then you have enough money to get it built exactly to the T how you want it. There will be some compromising, okay? Get creative and see like what is it that really matters to you the most. Do you want something that's move-in ready? Do you want something that is a new construction? Do you want a fixer-upper? Do you have people that are gonna help you fix the house? And if you have these connections, why not consider that and that sort of thing? Be realistic. Don't stress yourself out trying to have the perfect situation fall on your lap, because that is not gonna happen. And tip number 10, if at any point in the process from start to finish you have any type of question, you need to make sure that you ask that. Okay, ask all the questions. And like at first I used to feel embarrassed about how many questions I asked, because I just I just ask a lot of clarifying questions, or there's just things that I want to know or things that I'm not sure about, and I just don't want to be blindsided. I like to be as prepared as I possibly can. So ask all of the questions, okay? It might be a little cliche. I wanna say that you need to be patient. I really had to learn patience from the time we reserved our lot and the time we got our keys for our house. It had been over a year. If your agent, if the house, you're iffy about it, I mean, you feel like there could be something else out there, at any point, at any step, you're like, I'm not sure this is the right fit for me, then don't get stuck. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Be patient and keep doing the work until you feel fully comfortable, okay? Because this is a huge investment. It's gonna affect you for years to come. That's kind of just the gist of it, guys. I know that this is like way random and unexpected that I'm putting this video out now, and I like didn't even give you guys a warning because I've been doing mostly just vlogs, but I had told you guys that I was gonna do this. This will probably be the last video that you guys get prior to my Vlogmas series, okay? And that's because I really want to push myself to complete it and to make it through. So I've been working on that, you know, brainstorming ideas and just getting things that I need for some of the videos and that sort of stuff. So you guys will be seeing me on December 1st with my very first Vlogmas video. Like is tradition with all of my videos, I'm gonna be leaving you guys with a positive affirmation. And for this one, because it gets kind of hard to come up with these, but like I still very much want to give you guys positive affirmations, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and start maybe doing something a little different where I pick like a clip from a song, because I'm listening to music all the time and I always try to listen to the lyrics, and sometimes some shit just hits, you know? So positive affirmation for this video will play now. I just felt like it applied here nicely because like I said, there's a lot of trial and error with this process of buying a house, okay? But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this video. Make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. If you have any tips that you would wanna share or anything about the experience with maybe you're buying a house or you bought a house that you think might be helpful for someone else, or just really have anything to say, make sure that you leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, it takes 2 seconds. And remember, mommy, stay spicy, stay positive. That's it for this one. See you guys during Vlogmas. Bye.